Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order. It is a regular meeting of the Board of Education, Monday, November 19th, 2012. It is 6:06 p.m. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. All board members are present except for Mr. Smee. If you would, all please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have an agenda before us. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor then of approving the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, agenda is approved. Okay, first we have recognitions, a number of recognitions tonight. And as always, we will take a 1-minute pause after all of these recognitions are completed and allow folks who need to get going to quietly exit. So, Dr. Welker.
Okay. Our first group of recognitions go to some individuals from some awards that were won from the National School Public Relations Association, or I think INSPRA is maybe the way that that's pronounced. We actually won some awards on the state level in the past from the Missouri Association of Public Relations Association, and we want to recognize some individuals for these awards that they won on the national level. The first award, there's actually 2 individuals. It's a INSPRA Award of Merit for the Celebrating 100 Years video. In other words, school districts could submit videos to at the, I guess, national convention that they had and for award process. And would like to call Steve Robertson forward. Steve is a communications director for the district, and along with Randy McWilson, who is our digital media technology instructor, for their work in putting together Celebrating 100 Years video that won at the national level at the INSPRA convention. And I think we have some certificates for them, I hope.
You know, I've got a bad eye. Do you want my picture?
You'll be able to see it. You'll be able to see it.
I'm very sensitive about it. I'm very sensitive about it.
Stand here and turn this. She can see it this side, and only get hurt this side.
Fantastic job. Thank you both. Good job.
That's true.
Steve, is there a place that we can see that video at some point? Is it on our website or anything? Or
It is.
it is on the website?
There's a link to it on the homepage.
So if you go to our homepage, you can actually pull up the Celebrating 100 Years and see that video, and I encourage you to do so. The next award that was won at the National Convention was an honorable mention for a magazine advertisement that was put together by our staff. And the title of it was "You're on Our Turf Now." If you can imagine what that refers to, and it refers to the stadium, obviously. A wonderful picture involved in that. I think it's the same picture I have in my office. Is that right? Framed in my office. And we have several individuals, again, we want to recognize for this award. Steve Robertson, of course, our communications director. Cheekwood Studios, who I believe was up in the ladder truck actually taking that picture that was used in the ad. Chris Oliveira for his work from the tech department. and helping put the ad together, and Miss Beth Pointer, administrative assistant, for her help in helping editing. She edits everything that I do, but she also helps out in other areas, and she was a big help in this as well. So we'd like to present each of you with a certificate. Thank you. We're really proud of the work that you all have done for us and the recognition that you bring to our district. Our next set of recognitions, we continue to recognize our student athletes as they achieve beyond the district level in competition. We recognized, I believe, the softball team last month. This month, we would like to recognize those individuals from cross country first that went beyond the district level. Is Coach Hahn, did Coach Hahn happen to make it? Or Colin Sheridan? I believe they're the two coaches for cross country. They may have not been able to make it this evening, but certainly want to congratulate them. And we have then with us from the boys cross country, Billy Layton, and then from girls cross country, Maddie McDonald and Haley White. And if are they are here with us? Good. We'd like to recognize them this evening. Okay. Stand up. We want to get you, come forward, please. We want to get your picture anyway. I think you probably already have your recognitions, but you have a board member with a picture so we can.
Yes, I think Mr. McDonald
Mr. McDonald can
will fill in nicely for this picture.
Smiles. And once again, thank you. Good job.
We also have some our students with boys swimming. I think Coach Powell, is Coach Powell here? If you'd want to come up, Coach, come up. And also then we have some swimmers. Pablo Carmillo, Christian Redder, Sam Rhodes, and Ramsey Scott, our boys swimmers who went past the district level. Why don't you go say, you want to say something?
I didn't really plan for this, but I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank these guys and their parents. They worked really hard. We had a really exciting end of our season. We had to drop a significant amount of time to get our relay to the state meet, and at Springfield, about 3 weeks out, we made a big drop, but we still had 2.5 seconds, which is big in our world, to make it. And these guys just never gave up, and they worked hard, and it was so much fun to get that cut. So we were barely under the cut when we went to the state meet, and so we thought, you know, we're going to be able to be under it again because we really rested and got prepared for that. When we got to the state meet, we dropped another 1.1 seconds and moved up about 10 places, so we were really excited. We had a great meet. So 3 of these guys are seniors and will not be back. So it's just been an honor to get to work with these guys for a number of years. So thank you very much. And thank you, board, for recognizing them tonight.
All about the coaching. All set? Here we go, folks. And one more time, right here. Thank you.
Great job.
If I could add, Dana's a phenomenal coach. I've seen her in action before.
Job, coach.
That's right.
Well, we are certainly, cross-country and swimming both, we're certainly very proud of you, and we want you to know that you make us proud, and we appreciate all your hard work, coaches and student athletes, for all the time that you put in. I think next we have Terrific Tigers. Pleased to recognize our November Terrific Tigers, students from each of our buildings who have been selected to receive the award based on service to others, leadership, and scholarship. We'd want to recognize parents for all that they do as well. So as we call each of the students forward, we'd ask the parents to stand and be recognized as well. So we'll start our Terrific Tigers.
First up, from Alma Schroeder Elementary, we have Garrick Nowlin, first grade son of Kristen and Edward Nowlin. Garrick was recognized by 3 teachers as being a person of good character. He always has a cheerful disposition and tries to be a positive influence among his peers. He is eager to help both adults and students. We are grateful to be able to honor Garrick for his outstanding citizenship. Congratulations.
Just a second. There you go. One more time. All right, thank you.
From Blanchard Elementary, we have Demi Drum, second grade daughter of Diane and Spencer Drum. Here she is. Demi is an industrious, hardworking student of excellent academic standard who always aspires to do her best and possesses a genuine zeal for learning. She has developed a sense of responsibility and self-motivation and is full of enthusiasm and confidence that contributes to the school's environment. Attitude plays an integral role in a student's education, and it's because of Demi's cheerful demeanor and diligent work ethic that she is a terrific Tiger. Congratulations. From Clippard Elementary, we have Hannah Horrell, fourth grade daughter of Randy and Cade Horrell. Not here? Okay, we'll catch her next month. From Franklin Elementary, we have Aaliyah Solis, first grade daughter of Latoya and Juan Solis. Aaliyah is always doing the right thing. She follows the rules and is a tremendous help to her peers. We can always depend on her to make smart choices. She is a conscientious worker, motivated learner, and has a super positive attitude. Congratulations.
Excellent. All right, Aaliyah, nice smile. Are you ready? That was a good one. Let's do it one more time. Thank you, dear.
And also from Franklin Elementary School, we have our October recipient, Rodney Patterson, second grade nephew of Lubertha and Robert Ellis. Do you make it?
Didn't make it.
No? Okay, we'll try to catch him again next month. From Jefferson Elementary, we have Aubrey Walker, kindergarten daughter of Jamia Walker and Chad Hartline. Aubrey is a very sweet and considerate young lady. She is always trustworthy and treats everyone with respect. She is a very hard worker and doesn't quit until she gets it right. She is a great role model. Way to go, Aubrey.
There you go. Right in there. That's perfect. I see a smile. Hey. One more time.
And also from Jefferson Elementary, we have our October recipient, McKaylee Shockley, third grade daughter of Lori Cox and Wesley Shockley. There she is. McKaylee brings a smile to teachers and fellow students' faces. She is an outstanding example for everyone. She is always willing to help in the classroom and often sees something that needs to be done before anyone else notices. She is patient and kind when helping her fellow classmates. She is an asset to her third grade class and to Jefferson. She is a true Jefferson Tiger. Congratulations.
One more time.
From Central Middle School, we have Graham Moore, sixth grade son of Sandra Moore. Here he is. Graham was chosen as Terrific Tiger because of the great characteristics he chooses to display on a daily basis. He takes his education very serious. He puts 100% effort into completing his homework on time and accurate. He comes to school completely prepared for each class. He is a great role model for all. He is always safe, respectful, and responsible. Congratulations, Graham. From Central Junior High, we have Hunter Parrish, eighth grade grandson of Ruth and Larry Driscoll and Marcia Parrish. We have been very encouraged and excited to see Hunter mature this year and take a personal interest in his education. He brings a positive attitude to school each day. Teachers report that he works hard and often volunteers to help. Hunter always has a very respectful attitude toward teachers and fellow students alike. We are proud to have Hunter respect CJHS as our Terrific Tiger. Congratulations. From the Central High School, we have Claire Herbst, 12th grade daughter of Sydney and Charlie Herbst. Claire is an amazing young lady and pretty much the perfect student. Curious, intelligent, socially conscious, polite, hardworking, quick-witted, and sincere. She is more mature than many of her classmates, considerate and compassionate, and just sharp. Claire is a perfect balance of brains and humor. Whatever she does in life, it's going to be great. Congratulations. And from the Alternative Education Center, we have Taylor Scruggs, ninth grade daughter of Kara and Darren Scruggs. Okay, we'll have to catch her next month. And that's all of our Terrific Tigers.
It's a good way to do it. Back row, come forward just a little bit. Yeah. Everybody put your things right in that way. Good. Can you come forward just a little bit? Excellent. Okay. Count of two. Actually three. 1, 2, 3. And one more time. All set. 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations, Colin.
Okay, parents, that ends our recognitions. If you'd like to take a minute, if you need to leave, now would be a great time for you to do that.
Need to leave?
Well, some people do need to leave. Some people just want to leave. Except for you. No. Everyone around this table has. Yeah.
Oh, my.
Sections. Oh, did you? You must stay there too, so. Where'd they run the section? Parkway Center. They run on the They ran around the campus. They run 5. 3.1 miles. So it used to be 1.76 miles. I mean, I didn't run in high school. I think that's one of it wasn't as far because I wasn't. Well, they used to run.
Look at all that.
They used to run.
Okay. We will keep chugging along here. Next on the agenda, we have information, proposals, or comments from the audience. First, we have recognition of district giving from the United Way. I believe I see Ms. Jernigan. Wow.
Okay, so we are in the midst of our 2012 United Way campaign, and we're very excited because we're already at 70% of our goal. We have a couple of new campaigns that have just done a fabulous job, and 75% of those that have been turned in so far are up. So things are looking great for our communities and our ability to do more with the generosity of folks that live and work here. And one of those groups is the Cape Girardeau Public School District. We are excited and pleased to say that they not just met a goal of $24,000, but exceeded it, raising a total of $24,374.48. Now, we all know how much teachers give to their classrooms, and so it's always extraordinary for me when they give to United Way, and I'm sure there are many of other causes too. So we are really very, very grateful in understanding how much they already give. And the students got involved too, very involved. We had Carla Fee kissing a pig at the junior high, a real live pink pig named Little Baby. Pig Baby. We had, Dr. Dunham had her hair sprayed blue, and it was on her review day. She should have gotten a couple extra points for that. We had dunking booths. We had, all the schools did something special, and that's really extraordinary because so many of our students are, in fact, recipients of the work that they also find a way to give. It's such a great lesson for them. So we'd like to just take a quick minute to, first and foremost, thank Dr. Welker for your leadership of this and for making it possible for your staff, faculty and staff to take some time to do this for us. Thank you. And but the woman behind every man, there's a good woman, right?
All right.
Teresa Hubble is the woman behind the man. Come on up. I walked in the office one day and she had money everywhere, and she was like, she was very calm. As she said, "This doesn't add up." I don't know how many hours Teresa spends, but I know it's significant, and it doesn't go unnoticed or unappreciated. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you very much. And she keeps the folks informed. She's like a little bulldog when it comes to, it's time to get the packets in, it's time to do. So it's not just a one-shot deal. It's a several-week effort. So we have this. She mentioned that a cruise would have been more than appreciated, so we've arranged to row her across the Mississippi, or we might just walk, we might just walk, but we're very grateful, Teresa, for all you do. Thank you. Uh-oh. Did we break it? There we go. Thank Thank you very much. And then we'd like to take a minute. Kim Volker is our campaign director, and she's going to recognize some of the individuals at each school building.
Which it looks like everybody cleared out, so we'll just take them around to the buildings. But I just want to mention the names of the coordinators at each building because they spent a lot of time getting the faculty and staff and the students involved. Amishrouder Elementary was Brandolyn Frazier and Marquita Brookins. Blanchard Elementary was Holly Hall. Clippard Elementary was Amber Beard. Franklin, Dr. Deborah Rouse. You can come up and please. Come on up. 100% participation by the students and the faculty and staff, so that was amazing. Jefferson Elementary, Dr. Krista Turner, we just recognized her. Chelsea Howell, Jessica Peterson. Central Middle School, Paula Pletcher. Central Junior High, Carla Fee, who did her duty, she kissed the pig. Emily Good. And then at Central High School, Craig Hayden. The Alternative Education Center, Darren Stageberg. Cottonwood, Dixie Kreitz, the CTC, David Pappendick, and then, of course, last but not least, Teresa Hubbold at the Central Administrative Offices. So thank you all so much.
No,
It'll,
thank you both for being here this evening, and certainly thanks to all the staff that worked on the campaign, particularly Teresa, who leads the campaign for the district, and all the hard work that you put in. So we really appreciate that.
very nice. Next, we have an update from McCarthy Construction.
Did you bring flowers too?
Yeah, sure. Good evening. I'm Chris Petker. I'm with McCarthy. I'll give you a quick update on where we stand construction-wise throughout the district. We're down to 2 projects, the Franklin Demolition Project and the Performing Arts. The Franklin Demolition Project, if you've been by there recently, has been a little bit at a standstill. We've been able to finish the retaining wall, and we are about 50% complete with the black ornamental fence. And we have the base course of the rock finished, and that's where the issue is. That rock acted more like a sponge, and it's not necessarily drying, so we've got a couple issues to deal with there, but we've got some ideas of what we're going to do to try to resolve that and get moving on. So hopefully early next week we're going to be paving that out. Then there's final grading and seeding, which should take a couple days, and then finishing up the ornamental fence. So with all good weather and a little bit of luck, we should finish here in about a week and a half. The Performing Arts is going really well. The exterior portion of the building, we're about 75% complete with the site work. We just have a little bit left to do on the east side where we have the opening. On the inside of the building, the back house areas, those are the areas, the rooms to the north of the auditorium. Those are in the finish stages. So we've got the primer on the walls, we've got the grid and the ceilings. We're dropping light fixtures. So we'll be wrapping that up, those areas up, the lobbies and tie into the existing schools ongoing. We're drywalling those areas and framing them out. The real push is the auditorium. We've got a lot of high work there. We still have our lifts in there, so we're pushing that to complete that work and get those lifts out and pour that concrete. Right now, we're scheduled to finish pouring the concrete mid-December, and we will be finishing our carpet in the auditorium area, and seating is scheduled to be here the first week of January. So right now, our schedule showing us completing mid to later part of January, but everybody's pushing as best they can. We've got temp heat, and our exterior closure is going well, so things are looking up, and we're going to push it through the holidays and try to wrap things up for you. Any questions that you may have? Nothing? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And next we have program evaluations, 3 from Ms. Dina Ring.
Okay, good evening.
I have 3 informational reports here. First one being gifted education. All right, currently we have 198 students enrolled in the gifted program. As you can see from the program data, last year we had 203. We recently had a meeting where we have approved several to be tested, so I expect that number to actually go up before the end of the year. We are continuing to implement the recently rewritten curriculum. Some of the goals that we're going to look at this year, we are currently meeting the minimal state requirement for the gifted program, but we would like to look at opportunities or ways that we can exceed that. We've had several parents request that we look into that. And we are also working to ensure that all of our gifted students are reaching their potential academically and on our state assessments. Any questions about the gifted program? Okay, next one would be English language learners. Currently, we have 83 students who are enrolled in our English language learners program. We have 7 that are currently being evaluated, and when I spoke with the teachers last week, they actually expect all 7 of those to make the cutoff and be in the program, which would actually put us over where we were last year. We expect those numbers with some of our transfers to actually go up. Last year, if you remember, we added a 4th English language learners teacher. Barb Kitchen was added partway into the year. That has worked out really well and has allowed us to expand our after-school tutoring program. We had been only able to serve middle school, junior high, and high school, but with the addition of Barb Kitchen, we have been able to serve Jefferson and Clifford, where we have large ELL elementary populations. And that has worked out really well for us. We are still continuing to work on our MAP performance with our ELL students. That continues to be an area that we struggle in. They have to learn the information academically, but also then we have the language issue that is thrown in, and that's an area that we have continued to target for improvement. Any questions about the ELL program?
How many languages do you know?
Last time I counted, we had approximately 21 different languages.
21 different. I was at a meeting with some Kansas City people some years ago, and they have 27 different foreign languages.
And we may only have one student that speaks that language. We have a large Hispanic, Spanish-speaking population, and last year we had a large Somalian population. We did lose several of those students to transfers, but we still have a significant number. And so, like I said, we may only have one student that speaks that language, but we have a large number of different languages we're working with.
I'll send her an email. Thank you.
I actually have 2 reports under the early childhood, one for parents as teachers and one for our preschool program. Let's do parents as teachers, only because it's on the top right here. Okay, currently we have 216 children enrolled in our Parents as Teachers program. If you remember a couple years ago, we went through some cuts at the state level in funding. And a few years ago, we actually had 4 parent educators, but now we are down to 2. And they are serving, like I said, 216 children in our district. It's down a little bit from last year. We had a fairly large kindergarten class. from our Parents as Teachers program. They started kindergarten this year, so they were aged out of the program. But I know that Gina and Stephanie have mentioned that they have several new families that they are in the process of enrolling in our program. Because we have fewer parent educators, we did have to scale back a little bit on our group meetings. But they're still able to provide at least 2 each semester, and we've been able to continue our kindergarten screening. And then they also work with our counselors for those that aren't able to participate and assist them in screening them when they first get into kindergarten. And then they also do our preschool screening for our new preschoolers, so we can use our data for preschool. Any questions about Parents as Teachers? Yes.
Why the decrease in the number of students that are being served? Is that because of the drop in teachers that we have available, or is it because of the pre-kindergarten program that we put in place? Or?
You mean from this year, compared from last year to this year?
Well, the last 2 years, we've had 200 and something, and the 2 years previous, we had 450.
Right. When we had 450, that was our last year with 4 parent educators.
So it's based upon the number of
right.
employees that we have.
In the past 2 years, this will be our 3rd year where we've operated with 2 parent educators. And like I said, this year, last year we had 242, and right now we have 216. But like I said, we had an inordinately large number of students that left the Parents as Teachers program that started kindergarten, and we can't serve them then.
Right.
But the cut was due to funding, correct? We didn't have the money to have 4.
At the state level.
Right,
It
correct.
was done at the state level, yes. And it still continues to be precarious.
So where do those students go that aren't in that program any longer?
They targeted the high needs population and encouraged us to meet the high needs population. And we're able to pick up some through Educare. They pick up a few of them for us as well. But we just continue to take students until the girls are full. And then they can go on a waiting list if they're not high needs. Unfortunately, it's unfortunate that the state chose to cut that program. It really is, because all the data tells us that early childhood is the most effective time for us to reach these children. And Parents as Teachers is very important because they do a lot of the early screening.
How large is our waiting list now?
Right now, I would say we probably have about 15 or 20 families. And then I think we have some families who have elected not to participate in the program because of the fact that we have had to scale back. But I will say this, the good thing is we're still able, even if they don't participate in Parents as Teachers, we still screen them for kindergarten, and we're still seeing the same numbers that through kindergarten screening that we were when we had the 4 full-time educators, because Educare helps us, and then we're able to bring in some additional community resources, and so we're still able to serve the same number in kindergarten screening that we always have been. Okay, and the last one is the preschool program. We opened our preschool at Franklin this year, so we now have preschool in 4 of our 5 elementaries. We're currently serving 138 students in our preschool program. And if you look down, our evaluation data indicated that last year our students that were screened when they first came into our preschool and then who went through kindergarten screening, the average score on the dial went from 59.4 to 80.5, which is a significant increase. And last year we had about the same trend with our preschoolers, which means they're really getting something out of our preschool program. Our preschool teachers a few years ago, they actually go through the curriculum process just like all of our other subjects do. And they actually wrote their own curriculum, and they aligned it to the state standards and worked with some of our kindergarten teachers so it would dovetail right into what our kindergarten teachers are teaching. Any questions?
Since Ms. Jernigan was just here, the Read to Succeed program works in the pre-K and K?
It works at the elementary schools. I think they're servicing the elementaries first, but there is some that does help out for K.
Just kindergarten and first grade right now.
Okay, so do they have an impact on this program?
No.
Okay, thank you.
No. I think there's been a couple times where they've done a little bit, but it's been very, very little. I think they're targeting, like she said, the elementaries. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, next we have informational reports. I do not have a board president report this month. Dr. Welker, superintendent report.
Well, first off, I'd like to wish all of our students, parents, our staff, and of course the board a happy Thanksgiving as we come to that time. Certainly, I believe that Cape Public Schools has a lot to be thankful for, and we certainly need to take time to be thankful. So wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. First part of the month, we had a dedication and ribbon cutting ceremony at Lewis Lorimer Library. If you haven't been by there yet, you need to go by and take a look. That's at the junior high school, and very proud of the project. And of course, it was dedicated in the name of Lewis Lorimer. So encourage everyone to go by and see the library. Wanted to just comment that the January board meeting, we're looking at changing the date to Thursday, January 17th. Just kind of looking forward to for a couple months. The other thing, as we get into the winter season, I think I make this comment usually this time of year, and that is that we always have the possibility, of course, of inclement weather. And I just encourage everyone to monitor the website and local media. We will certainly attempt to make a decision as early as possible. One of the things I always do is call Dr. Cowan and see if he made it into the high school yet. And if he has, well then I think we're good to go, right, Dr. Cowan?
We're good to go.
Yeah. He always gets there early enough. I can always rely on him for that. But no, we do, as we get into that season, we'll just encourage, we'll have something posted on the website. Of course, we call the local media as well. So just would encourage everyone to keep an eye on that. And that's all I have.
Thanks. We have no CTA report this month. Ms. Clifton, treasurer report.
For the month of October, we had revenues of $1.6 million and expenditures of $5.3 million. Of those $5.3 million, $2.75 were salaries and benefits, and $1.45 of that was for bond cost. You'll also note for the year, we have we have paid $5.6 million of the bond expenditures. We are down, as we said, to the end, so we still have about $4.6 million of bond expenditures that still need to go out. Is there any specific questions anyone has about the Treasury report?
Thank you. And next we have board reports. Mr. Call, do you have anything from legislation?
No, I think
Bill?
we agreed we weren't going to watch the films. And if anybody had any presentation from the statewide conference that we went to at the Lake of the Ozarks.
I didn't.
It was, they post their presentations on the MSBA website. I did send one to Dr. Copeland about the one-to-one type rollout. And I forget the name of the school. I didn't get a chance to see that particular presentation. And then there's one called Success the Laker Way, which was Camdenton R3 school. And it seems like the key to most of their success is a lot of professional development. And they seem to be on a bi-weekly schedule, which I don't think we're quite at bi-weekly, are we? That's about the only thing that I saw.
I went to one, and I might have mentioned at the last one, where there's going to be an effort, I think in 2014, to raise the debt limit to 20% of your assessed valuation, because I think they've done some studies. The cost of building schools is not keeping up, I mean, it's surpassing the amount of assessed valuation the school district has, and so to build a school for 1,000 children is now costing so much more money. The 15% assessed valuation, which we have, that we're under right now, it used to be 10%, does not seem to be able to build those schools anymore for that amount of money. So I'm sure they're going to have an uphill battle to do that. I had not even been aware that they were even attempting to do that. I said in George Baum Financial Company presented that, and they made some good points, but I think over the next 2 years will be something that we'll have in front of us as the cost of building school buildings goes up. So. And the assessed valuations have not increased because of the recession. We went up 1% this year or 2%. You know, it used to be a bad year, it'd be 3 or 4%. So I think it's something we can watch out for.
Thanks. Anything from the Public School Foundation?
Nothing this month.
Okay, thanks. All right, we have a consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Okay. All in favor then of approving the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, that agenda is approved. We have no business items. Is there any information or proposal from a board member?
I might have a question for Dr. Cowan. It's not true or false or anything.
Yep. Sometimes easier.
I don't know if it was in the Cape paper this morning or the St. Louis paper. St. Joseph High School, you saw that, the student athletes in St. Joseph, and I'm sure they're not any different than our student athletes here, with the new dietary, is that the correct word? The portions they're getting are probably suitable for a normal high school student, but for the athletes, boys and girls, they're saying it's not sufficient. Now, that wouldn't be a problem for a lot of them. They can bring food from home or buy extra, but for those on free and reduced, they're limited to what, they can't get 2 meals for free and reduced. And I can just remember, I guess Teresa Hallbold's left, but she was in school approximately the same time I was. We had a young man in our class. We had to take health, and Payne Muir used to be the athletic director here, taught health, and once a day he'd say the same thing about the amount of calories you needed if you were an athlete. And I remember Sylvester Johnson was in my class, 6'5", 225 pounds, and at that time he required 12,000 calories a day. Now I doubt if he's getting 12,000, and that's just to stay up with his activities. And we all know that boys and girls are growing during that time.
A lot of crispy.
Have we had any complaints, or have we looked into that, or?
Yes.
Good.
I saw the article as well, Don, and it was out of St. Joseph there. I think you're talking about St. Joseph Central High School.
St. Joseph Central.
And the football team was expressing concerns. The lunches are being limited to, if I remember correctly, 750 calories per day.
Sylvester would have been skin and bones by the end of the football, basketball, and track. He was in all three of
And
those.
they also stated in that article what's coming, and I was talking to our cafeteria manager about the article just this morning. We're soon going to be limiting our breakfast to 600 calories. I think that starts next year if we're not already there. I'm very frank with you, the portions have become much smaller, and we do get complaints about it, especially from some of our older kids that's there. We also know that Ms. Elfrink has commented on the fact they've had to change quite a bit of ingredients that they use, and they really had to change some of their offerings in the cafeteria. To be very frank with you, it's not quite as appealing as it was. When we first went to the new high school, I bragged on our cafeteria. It was as fine as you could see, and that was one of the reasons I think we didn't have more complaints about closing the campus. If you remember, we went from the old high school to the new high school. I was not looking forward to that with the seniors and what that experience was going to be, that they had such good food and so many choices that it wasn't nearly the problem that we anticipated it might be. But that has changed, and through no fault of our own food service department, please understand that. Those are federal guidelines that are coming our direction that all schools are facing, but we have had complaints friendly complaints so far from students and from parents of students about portion sizes of lunches.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't we, as a district, required to raise the price of lunch this past year, even though we didn't need to?
Yes.
Which is why we gave free breakfast
Right.
to
Yeah.
offset that.
And we all know basketball's starting, and Paul was no basketball player as I, and that's the most strenuous sport that there could be would be basketball. Not like football, which is kind of easy, so. No, and the junior high.
Mr. Don Paul,
And
CAL.
junior high is even almost as bad, if not worse, because they're really growing during the junior high period. We all know what junior high kids, they're bouncing off the walls and everything else. And I just see it's a problem. I had not thought about it till I saw that article. And like I said, not the normal student, but the student that pays every day can bring extra money, buy something, but the free and reduced is somewhat limited of what they can do. And I'm sure we have a number of free and reduced that participate in all these athletic events. And band's out practicing and everything like that. So I think it's a problem.
What's your solution?
I'll get back to you on that one. Booster Club could provide some food, maybe, something like that.
Then you have to have time. Eat it.
Okay,
Yeah.
anything else from board members? Okay, then is there a,
Motion to adjourn.
yes. No, well, no, I think we have to move into, is there a motion to move into closed session?
Second.
Somebody first it?
Oh, I thought he motioned it. I'll motion it.
I motioned it.
Okay, I'll second it.
Okay. We have personnel and student issues. All in favor of moving into closed session, then please say aye, starting with Lynn.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Okay. We are in closed session. Thank you all very much for attending.